fellow collectors, and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we are taking a look at the Beast Combiner 2-pack of Bumblebee and SNARLSABER from the Transformers Rise of the Beast line from Hasbro. This is all part of the Beast Alliance play pattern that they have going here. And you can see that we have this open style packaging where they're just kind of tied into this back piece of cardboard. And then you have a little bit of cardboard here on the front showing the combined form. It's basically Bumblebee wearing SNARLSABER as armor. Over here on this side, you get a little picture of Bumblebee, and it says Beast Combiner 2-pack. Over here on this side, another picture of Bumblebee. Not really too much going on down here on the bottom. And then taking a look at the back, you can see that Bumblebee has both a robot mode and a vehicle mode. And then SNARLSABER just has the animal mode or beast mode, and then the armor mode. No robot mode for SNARLSABER. So, pretty much the same way that the Optimus Primal and Skullcruncher one worked out. But I guess this isn't officially licensed GM product, even though it's such a basic Bumblebee figure. I think that's kind of funny. I'm going to go ahead and get everything out of the packaging here, and we'll take a closer look. Here are Bumblebee and SNARLSABER out of the packaging. I'm going to put SNARLSABER off to the side for a moment so we can focus in here on Bumblebee. It's a decent little Bumblebee figure. I mean, it's not nearly as good as, say, the Studio Series, and I'll have to wait and see how the deluxe one fares once I can get a hold of that. But it's honestly not terrible. It has very similar articulation to the Optimus Primal from this line, where you have the ball joint here at the shoulder, and the arm is one solid piece, no elbow, no bicep swivel, nothing in the wrist, nothing like that. Just one solid piece here. Nothing in the waist. The head obviously can't move. You do have a ball joint here at the hip, and then you have a hinge at the knee. And he's actually got a little bit of ankle tilt, but that's really just because of the transformation. But he's got a little bit, not really tilt side to side, but front to back. But it's a decent little Bumblebee figure. And just to do a quick little comparison, here is the Optimus Primal from this line. So you can see that they are pretty much the same size. So we'll take him off to the side. And we'll go ahead and get into Bumblebee's transformation here. It's pretty simple. You're going to take this section here, and you're going to use the hinges. So there's a hinge there and a hinge there. And you're going to get that to rock back to about here. It was up like this. And now you're going to bring it back down like that. This little section here is going to unpeg. And then you're going to bring this around like so. I think to about there. You're going to peg the two legs together. And then flip the feet in. So that these pieces are now kind of flush with the roof. And then this is going to bend at the knees. And pop in there. And then this will kind of fill into this area. And it's kind of weird because you wouldn't expect these connector ports to be at like a 45-degree angle in the vehicle mode. But they are. So something to keep in mind. And then you're just going to bring the arms in. And it's, I don't know, it's kind of weird. This doesn't feel like it wants to line up correctly. But it helps when you bring the arms in. So these just come up like so. And basically there's like a hinge here, and you're just going to unhook that and push this up, and then it will fill in this little space here like so. So there you go. That is the Camaro vehicle mode here for Bumblebee. It's honestly painted decently. I mean, you have blue for the windows, which I appreciate. You have the black stripes here on the hood. Some nice paint here on the front in the fender, and then blue for the headlights. You have a little bit of red back here for the taillights. Rolls pretty well. You do have these connector ports here on the side, and technically here on the front, although these are kind of at a 45-degree angle, so it might be kind of hard to get stuff to peg into those. But if you wanted to bring in weapons from, you know, other robots, other Transformers, you could peg them in here to the side in vehicle mode if you wanted to. He doesn't come with a blaster or anything like that, which would have been nice, but you do get a weapon from SNARLSABER, so we'll get into that in a moment. But yeah, here is the vehicle mode. Now, if we want to bring Optimus Primal in real quick, we can transform him in record time. And then put these two next to each other. There we go. Just so you can get kind of a size comparison. Obviously, the Gorilla looks much larger than the car because Bumblebee compacts way more than Optimus Primal does. But just to give you kind of a size comparison. But yeah, it's a decent little car mode. Not perfect, but you can see a lot of the robot mode there underneath. But yeah, not too bad. Here is SNARLSABER. I would assume he is meant to be a panther. Looks pretty good. You have a little bit of silver paint here. This is really mostly for the armor mode, and then this is going to be the blade, the melee weapon, once we give that to Bumblebee in a moment. A little bit of silver paint up here. You got the blue for the eyes, and there's a decent amount of molding. You can see the teeth and everything there. He does have a gun in his mouth as well. This is where we're going to connect on top of the head. Has a little bit of articulation in the legs, and that's really just because they're going to flip up for the transformation into the armor, but you can utilize that a little bit for articulation in the Panther mode. But yeah, overall, not bad. Let's do a little size comparison here with Skullcruncher. You can see that they're pretty much the same length. Obviously, SNARLSABER is going to be a little taller because he is not as low to the ground as Skullcruncher, but I would say that they're roughly the same size. Let's go ahead, let's bring in Bumblebee. So the first thing we can do is remove the tail, and this just slides off right here, so you can see that there is this little track piece right here, and then there is kind of a little track right there, and it just slides in like that. So you just slide that right out of there. And then we can go ahead and give that to Bumblebee if we want, even without the rest of the armor. Just clips into his hand. And that's a pretty cool looking little saber here. Nice silver paint for the blade. I think that works well. I'm going to remove it temporarily just because I don't want it to get in the way of the transformation. But you're basically just going to sit this on top of his head. These two giant pegs right here are going to peg into the two shoulder connectors there. And it's a little difficult, I'll be honest. It almost feels like they're too far apart, but it does fit on there eventually. Let me zoom out here. And then you're just going to fold up all of the legs. So if you really wanted to do this before you connect it, you could. Does not really matter. Once that's all connected, you're going to grab a hold of this, and this is going to lift up and come down, and then this will click into place, and then you're going to push this back up like that. And then you're going to take off the, I don't know if it's a puma, jaguar, panther, I'm not 100%. It's a jungle cat of some variety. And that is going to clip over here on the arm, which I actually think looks pretty cool. I like that quite a bit, actually. I think that looks neat as kind of like a gauntlet. And then you can go ahead and give the sword back again. And then you kind of have this gun. So this is very similar transformation to Skullcruncher, where the top of the head came off, connected to the other arm, and had a gun underneath. And you can see the armor here. I really like the Bumblebee helmet. It's kind of giving Bumblebee like a cat helmet, which I really like. I think the blue and the silver for the face looks really nice. All the yellow paint looks good. The chest here I think looks pretty great. I just think this works. I think it's really fun. The colors also go really well together with the dark blue and the yellow. I think that works. It can be a little difficult at times to get him to stand, but overall not too bad. So let's bring in Optimus Primal here with Skullcruncher so we can see the two together. So again, you can see that they transform very similarly. They both have the head of the animal over here on this arm. Then there is the bottom part of the animal head with a gun. And then they have a melee weapon. But I think they're pretty cool. I actually like these a lot. And I know you're probably wondering, are they interchangeable? Yes, they absolutely are. And I think they actually look really good when you switch them. I mean, I think they work both ways. Now, of course, this one, the head is very much Bumblebee oriented, so that looks a little weird on Optimus Primal. This one I feel like is definitely, you know, could be for anyone. This head is really more of a Skullcruncher head than it is Optimus Primal or Bumblebee, so this one I feel like can work a little bit more with anyone than this one can. But I still think the colors look great together. You have kind of the dark gray and the dark blue, which I think looks really good. And I think the green and the yellow work really well together as well. So, yes, they are completely interchangeable, which is really fun. And there is another one in this line. I think it's RC and like a wolf or something. We'll have to check that one out. But yeah, I think it's really fun that you can kind of mix and match. I think this set is a lot of fun. I mean, it is a gimmick figure. It's not the best Bumblebee figure that's going to be out there for this movie. Of course, the Studio Series is the best. I would say even the mainline deluxe is probably going to be better than this, but it's a fun little representation of Bumblebee. I do wish he had elbows. It was the same with Optimus Primal. That is my main gripe. I feel like if these figures had elbows, they'd honestly be pretty solid, and I wouldn't really have any problems with them whatsoever. Transformation is simplistic and fun. Vehicle mode's actually not bad. I think he's got some nice paint applications in both modes. The way the armor connects is a lot of fun. I think SNARLSABER looks great as a cat and as armor. I like the weapon. The tail saber weapon, I think, works really well. I like the fact that this line is compatible, so I can switch the armor with Optimus Primal and Bumblebee. Yeah, I don't really have too much to complain about. Like I said, I wish Bumblebee had elbows. That's my biggest concern. Everything else is really just fun. I mean, it's a gimmick toy, but it's a fun gimmick. I like it a lot. I definitely am collecting all of these. I don't know if we'll get a wave 2 or not. Well, only time will tell, but I think these are actually a lot of fun, and I look forward to more of them. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and as always, thanks so much for watching.